Hello, everybody. This is such a fantastic Saturday to start with my presentation. And I'm Suraj Ashok. I'm an ICT educator who's currently in Hyderabad. I'm an IB educator. I have Cambridge experience as well. So now, where are we going towards with our education system? What are we doing actually? Is this a reformation or is this a transformation? So today we are going to uncover when answers are free, thinking is power. As you know, answers are free. So what do you think about answers are free? Answers are free from a long time before this generative AI, isn't it? So generative AI is something where everybody has actually got that power to actually do the cognitive offloading, right? So now before generative AI, we had this search engines like Google, Bing, all this, which will actually do our job. But now it's become even more easier for us to just give a prompt in the generative AI tools, and we are just going to uncover the session one by one. Okay, so this is about me. So rather than I call myself an ICT educator, I would like to call myself as a thinking coach. And AI has actually, come a long way from the 2023's transformation of what we have got the answers just by searching from the internet to now we generate an image and we generate a video and now there are a lot of things where AI is actually very much indeed feasible with all those where human was actually involved. AI can actually, do your task. It can replace you. But there's actually a famous saying which says, AI will not replace you, but the person who knows AI will replace. So you might all agree to what I'm saying, right? So the way we are actually going with our education in the school, it's not only you just come and transfer your knowledge that you have, it's all become obsolete. So we are dealing with the children of the 21st century where everybody have got the capacity to generate answers, to think better than you, to give the best results than you can able to actually, tell the children. But what are we going to do with that? Are we going to go somewhere? Are we actually, giving them the kind of space where the education is really going to change? I don't think so. So education is actually in a different space right now. So everybody needs to know these generative AI tools and all the AI tools. As an ICT educator, we integrate our subject with interdisciplinary subjects as well. So my duty or my responsibility would actually to make children have this power to think and to think along with AI. So I worked in a previous school where the uh, person who's actually the key person there, he says human intelligence plus artificial intelligence is equal to collaborative intelligence. So I very much firmly believe that he has said that, and I'm living by the way that he is saying that. And it's great indeed and a blessed in disguise that I'm an ICT educator. So I have to do my responsibility, right? So what are we gonna do? So I'm actually a person who keeps everybody's attention span engaging and the focus in the class is actually not being distracted or being shattered. So I challenge the gap between the educational promises and the classroom reality. So if somebody is going to bridge that gap, I think he is the most successful teacher. And I'm a person who is advocating from a rote learning to a deep critical inquiry. So IB is actually more into uh, the research and the critical inquiry mindset oriented. And my mission is to help educators evolve from answer checkers to thinking coaches, as I said earlier. So, what are we teaching for the last 12 years? Are we actually going to do the same thing from the future that is yet to come? Impossible. Absolutely not. Even today's news in the morning, when I just saw Oracle has fired 8,000 people. It is a great software company, and like a lot of companies very recently, like TCS, Accenture, everybody are actually having their layoffs. It is all because of the AI who has actually done that replacement. But the company side, they have to need that cost cutting, right? So what will they do to actually make the revenue profits go up? They need to rely on AI. But how are we going to, upskill ourselves, and how are we going to empower ourselves? So this is the time where everybody needs to shoulder up, take that kind of responsibility towards you, be the thinker who's in a driver's seat, and then make the AI to actually drive the car. So what's the hardest part here? So you could just able to see here from this caricature. Isn't it very much obvious what are we doing and what is the AI doing to our children? We are just going to spoon feed, right? So this is actually a kind of a great image that is generated in fractions of a minute in Gemini. And per se that I am also a kind of a person who collaborates along with the AI. When I actually gave a prompt in the beginning to actually give a cinematic prompt, it gave a prompt where I was sitting in a cinema theater along with the popcorn. So, it actually hallucinates. And then the second time I tried to recheck what I had given, it had understood literally, right? So, no matter all the generative AI tools are there in this current scenario, it is that we need to actually, be the person who's going to check, you're going to steer how AI is going to give you the answers. So, they say prompt engineering, right? So, this is what we are actually doing it. And rather than the AI is actually going to spoon feed, we should not allow AI to do that without our knowledge. Of course, in this 21st century, there is everybody using AI. There is nobody who's not using AI at all. If at all there are anybody who's not using AI, I just I pity for them that they are being ignorant. But in the same time, we just need to take that leverage of what AI can't do. It's that human thinking. It's the critical thinking that humans can't be changed. But in the future, there is also a challenge where agents have come. We have got super intelligent agents, organic intelligence. There are so many research going on with all those big conglomerates. All right. So I wanted to talk about something on a term called fluency illusion. I just had this experience in my class where I've given my class 5 students to do a presentation on the Israel, Iran, and US conflict. And I just gave them a liberty to choose whatever AI tools they want. And most of them are already AI fluent. So they took some AI tools and they have given me the fantastic PPTs. It was really wondering that, within a very short span of time, I could able to make a huge change in their presentation skills from a normal PowerPoint. And it was really a great feeling for me. But I had this feeling of how they have actually imbibed the concept. So what is happening in the real time scenario? What is happening in the global geopolitics? So I just asked a few learners to actually, sum up with what they have generated for their PPT. It was shocking to say that somebody have actually, given their answers in a way which is actually a kind of an illusion. They're actually literally pretending that they know that they actually know the global scenario happening. And there are some who have a mixed feeling of understanding, and there are some who are clueless. So this is what it is a great gap in terms of fluency illusion. We all know that they have done it, and we all in a space where they can able to generate those answers, and we think that they know, but the saddest truth is they don't. So how are we going to actually bridge this gap? And this is actually called as an output trap. So we are actually going to grade the final outcome of what they have generated. It is we who's actually, the people who are making them crippled in terms of their thinking. So we just need to question them. We just need to, kindle the mentality of what they have actually, gone their minds, and they need to reflect, and then we just need to have a proper reflection. So eventually, when they are trying to do all this every day, there is a huge gap which will even question their identity, right? So if you are going to outsource all your thinking to a machine, then what are we doing there? So that is the greatest challenge that everybody are going to face or are facing already, right? So there is actually a kind of a forums where we have just taken the data from. So World Economic Forum says that critical thinking is going to be the number one skill in the days to come. As I said that I have actually generated a caricature in the previous slides, right? So this was actually a kind of a great misinterpretation between the human and the AI. And what we are expecting and the what AI is actually generating is actually a kind of a sync we need to have between AI and human. If that doesn't match, we are just consumers of whatever AI is giving, and we are just going to consume, and we are going to look like fools by the time when somebody is going to question us. So we just need to have those critical thinking in the first place. It can be anything. So it can be a report generator, or you want to do a last minute analysis of your grade reports. There are small changes in the numbers which will actually, sabotage your whole effort in the future grade prediction. Because I was also a teacher um, for the AS and A levels in my previous schools, where there was an instance personally that the number just being misplaced, the whole analysis went wrong. So we just need to have that kind of a critical thinking to question the AI, to understand what AI is actually generating, and then we just need to finally be aware of our answers with what is the expected result. And the problem solving skills. The World Economic Forum also says the problem solving skills, right? So now we do a lot of projects. We just do a lot of STEM projects. And then the children who are actually doing it, they just copy all the coding from there, and then they actually, upload it in their projects. For example, Arduino projects, all these microbit projects, and there are a lot of other projects where children just don't think about the logic. They just copy paste the coding, whatever it is being there, and without understanding it, they're actually, doing it. In case for a short term, it is actually a pleasure. It is an instant gratification. But in the long term, we are not doing that part where we are actually, relying totally on the AI. And now the statistics says that, chat GPT, when you think of the AI, okay, so now I just asked my grade one kids, okay, so what do you think about AI? They already just, know, and they say chat GPT. So what is chat GPT? And then they actually say it gives the answers. So, the moment when somebody is gonna question on what is AI, the next thing that they remember is ChatGPT. So now this is the data which shows, around 80 million users are actually over there, the weekly users, or maybe, 90 million as well. So just imagine this is for ChatGPT. How about the other AI tools, right? So from now to we have Claude, we have Perplexity, we have Gemini. There are so on DeepSeek and so on and so much generative AI tools which is actually there, and every tool does a different purpose, right? So what do you actually find it difficult these days? Why do you actually think that AI can actually do the job? It is this whole reason that we are going to save time, right? We are just going to have the work done, which is quicker than the work that we think and we actually try to implement it. There is a kind of a great struggle there. So this is actually called as offloading, right? So I just use this term cognitive offloading. I like to reiterate once again. So once when you actually do this habit, it is a kind of this practice that you are actually doing more harm to your brain rather than you actually think and doing it. So there are some strategies in the upcoming slides where I would like to tell you what are all the strategies that we can follow in our classrooms. All right. So now the challenge. Okay. The first thing is that the challenge that we actually face. So rather than we actually try to think, the AI actually, make it easier for us. So there is a challenge already lost. And we are actually finding it more resistant towards what we are actually going to, do to our brain. We don't want it to actually, struggle. We don't want it to resist. All we need is actually the instant answers, right? So now, I even had this scenario yesterday that I'm a person who invests a lot in the stocks. So, without even my knowledge, I've been actually using the AI tools without even using a calculator now. So, gone are those days where when we actually try to open a calculator and do the math, now we just ask, hey, Gemini, hey, Google, or whatever it is, and then we get the answers, right? So it is that resistance. It is not that it to be, we just need to be blaming ourselves to use excessive AI tools. But I just, reiterate, and I wanted to tell you, we just need to strike a balance. How frequently are we actually using it? So we just need to, keep a self check on that. So achievement, yes, but we are actually going to evaluate the people based on the grade, yes, and are we actually going to award the children based on the concept they grasp? So that is the thing that we need to question. And we just need to endure, right? So whatever, we are just going to have the future technologies being developed. We are just going to endure all that. And it is the thinking which always stays strong. The intellectual growth, the brain, the muscles that we are actually having there, we just need to continuously keep it working, or else it's just going to rust. All right. So this is actually the resilience trend from the 2020 to 2026. As you can see, there is a very sharp decline in the graph, right? So now, as we actually see, there is a kind of frictionless mentality between the tools that we use to make a problem being thought after, rather than you being actually, relying on AI tool and then you're giving the answers. So it is the global scenario of how are we going to use, what are we going to do, and there is actually a strong, uh, you know, uh, question that how are we going to evaluate the answers? How are we going to grade? How are we going to actually assess in the future assessments? So that's actually a great challenge. And IP and Cambridge are also having a lot of frameworks being developed in the place of how we can actually, do this rather than riding in the AI wave. There is no other option, right? So if you're just going to ignore AI, it is going to ignore you as well. No, and there is no way that we can't compete with AI. So as I told you that there is actually a strategy. This is actually a strategy where I thought of, and this is called think framework, where we trace, hunt, interpret, um, notice the gaps, and then you finally, keep questioning. All right. So now, how are we actually going to trace the logic for any problem? Let it be a science problem, let it be a math problem, let it be a kind of any subject for a matter of fact. We just need to think of the logic first, rather than totally depending on the output. How is the logic being interpreted? That's the first thing we just need to understand. So, hunting assumptions, right? So, how are we actually going to do all this? Are we actually going to give the underlying premises of the AI, or are we going to take it for the AI right now? So, we don't want it to actually, get the answer straight away. So, we can actually assume it and we can able to hunt the assumptions ourselves. So, what I'm trying to say is we just need to cross check what are we thinking. It is something called as the metacognition, right? The thinking of way how we think. So that's the one I'm trying to say. And then the interpret meaning. Okay, so what are we actually trying to do these days? I like to tell you that though we are actually having a lot of AI giving answers, I have really improved myself in understanding a lot of things generated by AI. So we can actually, given a prompt of how to explain things and, giving a persona of a user. I'm a 10-year-old. Please explain it to me. So AI will actually give in the way that anybody can able to understand of what you want to understand. So the interpretation has become really, really easy these days. There are a lot of AI tools, and Google Notebook LM is one such tool, which is actually great in terms for students. And we, as actually, I was telling, we are a thinking coach. We just need to tell them how to think and what to think and how to get answers. So interpretation skills are really going to be improved, or are already improving for everybody who is actually using AI. And notice the gaps. Okay, so what are we actually going to do in terms of gaps? Any answers being generated, we can't just bluntly copy paste, and there is actually a huge gap there. So we just need to have that understanding of revisiting the file that is being generated and see what it has actually gone wrong. You actually try to understand of whatever it is being given, and you try to analyze it. You try to analyze once again, and try to revisit what have generated, and you will find a gap there. And it could be a logical error, it could be a spelling mistake, or it could be anything that it is actually generated. And then finally, keep questioning. Okay, as I said, it's a springboard where AI is actually going to trigger your mind of a lot of other aspects that is actually being given in the final result. So the questioning skill are actually the a great thing where you can do with the think framework. These three strategies before actually getting to my class to do any activity related to AI. The first thing is that I will give the flexibility of them to rely on AI, but I will not allow them to take your thinking, critical thinking, and the problem solving skills to take a back seat. So we just I just emphasize everybody to follow these three strategies, which is personally being very helpful to me in my classrooms. The first thing is delay the AI. Whatever they actually, the problem that you're giving for a homework or let it be a class activity, delay the use of AI for 15 minutes minimal. Let them come with all those probabilities of, the right answers, wrong answer. Let them make mistakes. So we have to embrace mistakes in the first place. Let them actually do that. And then, give the second option of messy AI, where you just need to actually, confuse those answers. You make purposefully mistakes there. Okay. And then you allow them to actually think. So this allows them to actually, see those gaps I have told you, right? So they will find those gaps and they will analyze which is the right answer and which is the wrong answer. It's a kind of a maze or a puzzle. And finally, reverse AI. You give the answers first. Let them think about the process of how they have got the result. So this is actually nothing but backtracking of the results of how you are actually getting solution, rather than you actually going with along with the flow of getting the answers. So you give them the answers first. Let them strategically think about the process behind. So this is actually the old classroom and the future classrooms shift. So primary goal, correct answers. We are going to think about the deep reasoning. What are we thinking? So what is the children's thinking there? The success is upon the depth of inquiry there rather than completion. Role of a student is a logical architect rather than being an information recaller. This is actually a great terms of significance, avoiding the rote memory. And the role of AI, it's a tool where we can just have just like a calculator, but we cannot simply rely on that. And the teacher value, as I told, I am keep telling everybody the same thing again and again. We are a thinking coach. AI can do much better than us. Children don't need us at all. So we are the facilitators in the classroom. We are actually going to empower them. We are going to be the cheerleader. We are going to be their knowledge workers, and we are the people who is going to emotionally support them. And gone are those days where IQ is the main rationale. But now, we just need to have the emotional quotient, and the main thing is the adaptability quotient. So IQ is replaced with EQ and AQ. All right. So now, in a world of free answers, thinking is identity. We must transform education from finding answers to forming thoughts. Okay. So the core truth, AI doesn't replace human thinking. It is just a process of genuine thinking, more valuable than the modern era. What is the teacher role? We are the guardians of the thinking process, and which is helping them to trace the logic, hunt assumptions, and rebuild the struggle muscle for mastery. Okay, on the final goal, we are just going to graduate students who don't just know the what, but deeply understand the underlying how and why of their educational journey. So this is the place where IB is actually coming there. Main thing is inquiry and the research skills. All right, so these are all my references. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Ms. Pravina, and thank you so much for this wonderful platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. If you can stop sharing your screen, we can have a better view of you. Very informative session. Can you stop sharing the screen, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I'll stop.
Yes, sir. So because of the time constraint, I'll ask you only a couple of questions. Okay.
Yes.
So how do parents respond to AI integration strategies, sir?
Parents are very happy, in fact, because I'm implementing AI tools right from grade one. So I'm using kid-friendly AI tools, and Canva is actually doing a fantastic job. There's something called Canva AI, where every parent is actually very happy in terms of the way children are given AI tools. But there's another set of parents who actually, kind of argument. This is actually so early for them to actually handle all this. How are they going to process information? So I always tell them to actually check or keep a tab between the balance factor. So I told them three strategies, and these strategies also have been presented to you. The message.
Are you there, sir? Mr. Suraj, can you hear me? Yes, sir. So what training do teachers need to become thinking coaches, according to you, in your view?
All right. So this is actually a fantastic question. So now, already AI has actually done a phenomenal job. And there are many teachers who I see in my LinkedIn profile, getting themselves updated to Gemini educators. And there are so many online free courses offered by ChatGPT, Gemini, and all those big conglomerates, right? So they just need to have that kind of an mindset to adapt. And then, they can do wonders. So whatever they know of, if they actually combine the AI tools and then go to their classes, I'm telling you, the engagement factor would be, phenomenally high, and you will also enjoy your lessons. And moreover, it also, makes your work less. And there are a lot of other tools as well in Toddle, where they also have their Toddle AI as well. So you just need to upskill yourself. There is no other option. But I'm telling you, it's all for good. You just don't need to panic with AI. But if you are actually making a friend along with AI, we are going to have fun in the classrooms. It's going to be really entertaining, engaging, and the focus of the class would be very much lively.
So what are the common mistakes, sir? Can we discuss about the common mistakes teachers make with the AI integration?
Yes. So the first mistake, what they do is that they just give them a task and then they don't set a proper rubric. So we just need to have a rubric set in the first place, and we just need to, tell them in the beginning of the classes. So feed forward is actually very important. Rather than giving a feedback, so you are going to tell them the expectations of what you are expected and what are you being expected to use AI tools along. So when you actually set the expectations right, and this will actually give a great leverage. And secondly, you just need to cross verify them by getting their reflections. What have they understood? So what is the takeaway from the classes that that has happened? So a timely reflection and the feed forward. That would be the greatest strategy.
Mhm. So not everything should be from the AI perspective, or like students can't use AI for everything. So how do you prevent students from using AI secretly?
Okay. This is the place where academic integrity comes into the picture. So
Yes.
still there is actually question lingering around what are we going to do in terms of how to assess children. But because though you actually try to cover up by not showing the AI use. Also, you actually there are a lot of tools where you can able to find a way how much of AI percentage is actually being used by the children. There are a lot of loopholes that the children can also try to bypass. So to avoid all that, we just need to have this transparency of if you are using the tool, you just need to show the credits. So whatever AI tool that you have used, rather than making it as a stigma or a taboo, uh,
Mhm.
let them use what is there, because whole world is using. But the point is, what are they actually understanding it, and what are they actually attained from the AI insights? That is what it really matters. So there is no
Right.
need to actually hide the fact that you are using AI. Let them be open, and the teachers also should be open.
Okay. Let's discuss about some challenges too, sir. What are the biggest challenges implementing reverse AI strategy?
All right. The reverse AI strategy is actually a great blessing, I have to say, because we are always running towards the end result, the product, right? Whatever that you make. For example, now I was talking about the presentation where I told about the grade 5 learners doing Iran, Israel, and US conflict PPT through Gamma. And there are a lot of other tools they have generated the answers upon. So you actually give them all those results now. You tell them to understand what had happened, how the war has actually triggered. Because my classes, and usually I recommend all those teachers lessons to be related with the current scenario, the real time scenario of what is actually happening around us. We just need to give them a right knowledge, and by giving the results first, the reverse AI actually does a magic there. So they will actually, go to the Google. They will actually type in what had happened, and they will actually, again go to Chat GPT to generate the results of how the final output has come. So there is a process where they think now, right? So the results
Right.
are very simple now. The answers are very simple. But what is the process? What had happened? They will dig deeper now. So the reasoning that there is a very deep reasoning behind what one website says. There's another website says. There is a confusion there. So there will be a kind of a lot of questions that will arise in front of them very suddenly, and then they need to explain the process. So by doing that, they will be aware of what had happened from the beginning. It's not February 20 that all happened. Nobody knows the state of Hormuz before. But when you ask
Right.
any kids in my class, they will just say where it is, what it is, and what is the neighboring countries. So it talks about all the geopolitical angle. It talks about geography. It talks about history, Iranian culture, everything. So we are just triggering that their mindset, just spark.
Wonderful explanation, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Suraj Ashok, for that insightful and thought-provoking presentation, sir. We truly appreciate your sharing your expertise on our platform today. And anything else you want to mention before I end the session? Because I wanted to extend, but unfortunately, because of the time constraint, we have to conclude this session, sir.
All right. So I really wanted to thank Miss Pravina for this opportunity, and you're doing a fantastic job in terms of this website, School Reformer. I was really, happy that so many educators are there in one platform, and this also is being, put in YouTube channels, and this will be very much helpful for other educators who can share their experience and expertise, wherein we actually, build a community where students actually think and they give a purposeful society, and we get more thought-provoking projects from all of the students.
Thank you so much, sir. Have a great day. I'll end the session now.